Are you ready to launch your business in Tennessee, but honestly, kind of unsure where to start with taxes? Well, discover how to seamlessly apply for a sales tax permit and set your business up for success. We're going to dive right into this explainer and absolutely demystify the exact steps you need to take to get your Tennessee business taxes dialed in. Whether you're a local startup, a seasoned pro expanding your footprint, or a remote e-commerce seller, we're going to make this whole registration process incredibly clear and totally actionable for you.
Because let's be real, launching a business is incredibly exciting, but navigating state tax requirements, yeah, that can feel like a massive, intimidating bureaucratic chore. You want to focus on building your brand and actually serving your customers, not drowning in a sea of government forms. But ignoring this just isn't an option. So, we're going to walk through this together and turn what feels like a major hurdle into a straightforward, super predictable checklist. Here's our roadmap to compliance today. We'll cover 1, what the permit actually is, 2, whether you even need one, 3, a pre-application checklist, 4, navigating the TNT AP registration, 5, post-application compliance, and finally 6, resources and disclaimers. Okay, starting off with Section 1, what is the permit? Let's understand the sales and use tax account. Now, while pretty much everyone online calls it a sales tax permit or a seller's permit, its official legal name in Tennessee is actually a sales and use tax account. When you get this set up, you receive a certificate of registration. This piece of paper is literally your official authorization to collect state and local sales tax from your customers. And since Tennessee relies so heavily on sales tax, especially after repealing its Hall income tax in 2021 and having no state income tax on wages, the state takes the collection and remittance of these funds in fiduciary trust incredibly seriously. And this brings up a really common point of confusion for new business owners. A state-level sales tax permit is entirely different from your local business tax license. They are completely separate things. The state sales tax permit is for transaction-level consumption tax, administered by the State Department of Revenue. A local business license, on the other hand, is administered locally. That one just grants you permission to operate your business within a specific city or county's limits. So, if you're a local Tennessee business, you very likely need both of these to be fully compliant. Moving right along to Section 2. Do you need one? Let's identify your tax obligations. If you're an out-of-state remote seller, you really need to watch this economic nexus threshold. If you have absolutely zero physical presence in Tennessee, but you've made over $100,000 in Tennessee sales to consumers over the prior 12-month period, well, you've just triggered economic nexus. That means you are legally required to register, collect, and remit sales tax. It's a hard line, so you've got to monitor those rolling 12-month sales numbers really carefully. But what if you are physically located inside the state? Well, in Tennessee, an in-state business is required to register for a sales tax permit once your projected gross sales of tangible goods exceed just $4,800 a year. And if you provide taxable services, that threshold is even lower, a mere $1,200 a year. If you happen to be under these tiny thresholds, you might not actually need to register, but you must instead pay sales tax to your Tennessee suppliers right at the time you purchase your inventory. See, there are a few different ways you might trigger what the state calls nexus, and nexus is really just a fancy legal term for having enough of a connection to the state to owe them taxes. A massive trop here for modern e-commerce sellers is Amazon FBA. Having your inventory stored in a warehouse in the state creates a physical presence. So even if you're living on the beach in California, if your inventory lands in a Tennessee warehouse, you generally need a permit. All right, Section 3, pre-application checklist. Here is exactly what you need before you apply. To knock this application out smoothly in one sitting, you're going to want these items right at your fingertips. You need your exact legal business name, your entity type, like an LLC or a corporation, and a physical address. And no, a P.O. box is absolutely not going to cut it for your primary location. You'll also need an EIN. Please always get this completely for free directly from the IRS website. Do not pay some third-party site to do that for you. You're also going to need your NAIS industry code, which is 454110 if you're in e-commerce, plus the social security number of the responsible party, like the owner or corporate officer. Which brings us to Section 4, navigating TNTA KPR registration. Here is your step-by-step guide. You're going to be doing all of this on the Tennessee Taxpayer Access Point, which everybody just calls TN-TAP. It's the state's centralized online system for practically all of your tax accounts. It's secure, it's really efficient, and honestly, aside from a few very strict hardship exemptions, it is the mandatory way to file and register. The actual step-by-step process is incredibly logical. You just head over to tinapp.tn.gov and create a logon. Once you're inside the portal, select Register a New Business and follow the prompts for sales and use tax. The absolute best part? This entire process is completely free of charge. There's no sneaky application fee. Now, once you hit submit, it can take up to 10 business days to receive your physical certificate in the mail. But, and this is super important, you can legally begin collecting tax the second your application is submitted. So you don't have to put your business on hold just waiting for the mailman to arrive. Now, a quick warning here. The number one mistake people make during this whole process is registering under their DBA, or doing business as, name instead of using their official legal business name. It has to perfectly match your EIN and your state formation documents. If you mess this up, it will cause massive processing delays and could even expose you to back taxes because the state won't be able to match your records. So always use your exact legal entity name first. Moving on to Section 5, Post-Application Compliance. Let's talk about your ongoing responsibility. Okay, so here's a really fun quirk of state bureaucracy. Tennessee requires what are called zero returns. This means you must log into TNTAP and file a return every single filing period to keep your account in good standing. Yes, even if you made absolutely $0 in sales that month, you still have to file. If you ghost them, the automated system might just estimate your taxes for you and slap you with late fees and penalties. So whatever you do, never skip a filing period. Also, under Department of Revenue rules, the law requires you to prominently and physically display your certificate of registration right there at your business location. It basically acts as an official notification to your customers that, hey, they're paying a state-mandated sales tax, and you are officially authorized to collect it. And just a heads up, if you have multiple retail locations in Tennessee, you need a unique certificate displayed at every single one of them. Let's wrap things up with Section 6, Resources and Disclaimers, setting you up for success safely. Look, operating without authorization or collecting sales tax from consumers without a valid permit is a really serious violation of state law. Under Tennessee Code, unlicensed businesses can be hit with massive back tax liabilities, retroactive interest, and steep monthly administrative penalties for every single month you're operating out of compliance. It's just simply not worth the risk, especially when the registration itself is completely free. If you do run into any hurdles, you can reach out directly to the Tennessee Department of Revenue support line at 615-253-0600. Honestly, they're surprisingly helpful. And please keep in mind, this explainer is strictly for educational purposes, to help you navigate the source material. Tax laws are always updating, so please do yourself a favor and consult a certified tax advisor, a CPA, or a legal professional to get personalized advice tailored to your exact business structure. Well, now you hold the exact roadmap to compliance. You know the thresholds, you've got your checklist, and you know exactly which pitfalls to avoid. But remember, tax laws are living, breathing entities that change constantly. So the only question left is, will you let tax compliance be a lingering anxiety that holds you back, or the rock-solid foundation that allows your Tennessee business to scale fearlessly?